issue before you is a situation where I wrote a memo to Mr. President, and it was approved, and the Nnpc also wrote another memo, supposedly against my memo. So if you have that kind of situation, then you wonder if I can actually, I'm in a position to enforce the message that you have presented through me to the Nnpc. Having said that, on the issue at hand, I would like to be very quick, but I just want to state that no law was breached at all as far as the ADAX affair is concerned. And I am also not aware of any matter in the Supreme Court on this matter. I have just consulted with the Director DPR, who also told me that he is not aware. I am not aware of any such matter. But the matter of ADAX was not commenced by me. Everybody knows that this asset has been suboptimally managed from the beginning of the acquisition to this moment. It has not been optimally operated. When Sinopec acquired this asset from ADAX, the production was 130,000 barrels per day. As at today, we struggle to produce 25,000 barrels per day from this asset because there are no new investments and the asset has progressively declined. We believe that if there were the requisite investment in the asset, we would have probably taken the asset even beyond 130,000 barrels per day instead of declining to 25,000 barrels. So there was an issue of mismanagement of the asset. Now, in the wisdom of the Attorney General of the Federation, he wrote to Mr. President, and I have the letter here which I can show you, a copy. He wrote to Mr. President to say, look, these assets have not been properly managed according to the petroleum laws of this country. And that letter was forwarded to me by Mr. President for me to review and then get back with my own considered opinion. That letter from Mr. President to me is also here with me, which I will let you see. Based on that, I wrote to the DPR to actually go in and investigate the issue of ADAX, whether the asset was properly managed or it was not as very well managed as alleged in the letter of the Attorney General to the President. The Attorney General wrote his letter based on a letter written to him by a whistleblower. I believe in the ADAX system, I don't know, but a whistleblower wrote to him, and he now, based on that, made a recommendation. So when I wrote to the DPR came back to me on the subject, and the DPR report is also here with me, and that report was to the effect that it confirmed everything the Attorney General alleged. Meanwhile, you must realize that this asset was bought by Sinopec offshore. And in 2009, and Sinopec bought the asset from ADAX offshore and came to Nigeria and operated it as ADAX. They didn't change the name. And consequently, they also did not pay anything for ministerial consent. They didn't even have ministerial consent of the transaction. So they had been operating that asset without ministerial consent. Now, when the DPR confirmed that the position of the Attorney General was the status of the asset, I now wrote to Mr. President. But before I wrote to Mr. President, information got to me that ADAX was already on the way of selling off this asset, again offshore. They bought it offshore without getting ministerial consent. And if they sell it offshore, the government might also lose again. Because the ministerial consent comes with a fee, as you know. So they didn't pay it in 2009, and they are now in the process of selling in 2021. So to forestall that sale, we decided to quickly write to Mr. President, since we have satisfied ourselves that the asset was not managed properly. We decided quickly to write to Mr. President. And the details of the sale, everything is available. So now, when we wrote to Mr. President, we said that he should revoke the asset because this asset was being sold. And that brings me to our Petroleum Act. This is a copy, a page of the Petroleum Act, which I will make available to you. Our Petroleum Act is very, very, very clear that, sorry, I'm looking for one. Our Petroleum Act is very, very clear in Article 24 of the Petroleum Act. The Article 24 of the Petroleum Act says that the minister may revoke any oil prospecting license, that is OPL, or oil mining lease, OML, if the licensee or the lessee becomes controlled directly or indirectly by a citizen of, or subject of, or a company incorporated in any country, which is a country other than the licensee's or lessee's country of origin. As you all know, ADAX is a Swiss company, and Sinopec, as you know, is not Swiss, it is Chinese. So if the company is acquired by a company or person, if directly or even indirectly, by anyone that is not from the country of origin of the original company, that the minister can revoke it. That is the law. ADAX and Sinopec are from different jurisdictions. And according to our books here in DPR, ADAX is still the owner of the lease, not Sinopec. So it is totally within the ambit of the law for the president to revoke this lease. And for the benefit of doubt, we actually believe that the president has not even withdrawn the revocation. Because Nnpc is not in a position to ask for a withdrawal of a revocation granted duly. And then secondly, what was Nnpc writing about? You yourself said it was an Nnpc letter. Nnpc also said in their prayer C. What is the Nnpc prayer C? I'm sure you have a copy. They said Nnpc to negotiate the exit of ADAX and replacement with an appropriate PSC partner. So Nnpc too is asking for the same revocation, but in other words, they themselves are saying Nnpc to negotiate exit of ADAX. So where is the about on? Mr. President took the right action on the matter according to the laws of our land. And the law is in black and white. I'm sure you all have copies. I will stop here because I don't want to say too much today. I wish that we were in private. We'll be able to discuss and go more into detail. But this is the matter as I know it, the ADAX matter. And as far as I'm concerned, the action was fully within the ambit of the law. Mr. President has the powers as Minister of Petroleum to revoke an asset that has not been properly managed. But in this case, it was not because of that. It was because of Article 24 of the Petroleum Act, which I have stated very clearly in black and white. Thank you, sir.
From what I have seen, and from what the Honorable Minister has stated, it appears that there is some kind of complicity. And I am asking a question. If from the Petroleum Act 24, a company is not supposed to have been operating in this country offshore without paying the prerequisite dues that is supposed to be paid to this country through the minister. These companies, ADAX and Sinopec, has been operating for about 13 years. And you can imagine the amount of money this country has lost. And we are here talking about the fact that Nnpc cannot contribute to the Federation account. Now, it begs the question. We also heard that they wrote a letter wanting to negotiate the exit of ADAX. How can you negotiate the exit of ADAX when they are owing us so much? When the license is supposed to be revoked, and you're writing a letter for negotiation, that means that somebody somewhere is hiding something. And I think we need to get to the root of this matter. Now that Nigerians know, I'm happy the chairman has outrightly spoken that Nigerians should know that Nnpc is the root cause of the problems in this country. We've never had any invitation to Nnpc and they come. And we've never had Nnpc's budget scrutinized. So there must be something that is happening inside Nnpc that the whole nation should know. And Mr. President should know. They can't be frustrating the minister, frustrating Mr. President, and frustrating the National Assembly. We must find out, we must get to the root of this matter. Why Nnpc should be spending billions of dollars and not generating anything. There's so many leakages that this country, we must block, and this country must rise up. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.